have a situation like this woman who was, I'm not still sure whether she was in fact deported or whether she fled the country the first time and has now come back. But whatever, there still seems to be some uncertainty about it. But whichever way it is, she has become the sort of nickname for all that the Galamsey represents. And unfortunately, also for the involvement of Chinese nationals in Ghana in this particular illicit trade. We have constantly to work at it. We need to have the cooperation of the courts. Until recently, till I came, the punishment for people caught was relatively light, a fine, and even if we're going to go to custodial sentences was relatively minimal. We've changed the law to stiffen the punishments for people caught. For foreigners, I think it's now 15 to 25 years, depending on the severity of what it is. So we're also now going to test our judicial system, to what extent it is going to be responsive, especially when somebody like her goes on to trial. But I'm persuaded that the fight is in the right place. It's not an easy fight. You can see that the last election, the concerted efforts that the Galamsey community made to try and turn us out of office because of our fight. Fortunately, the good people of Ghana.
Well, the update on this is that today the Accra Circuit Court 9 is where Aisha Huang is expected to reappear. Recall that she's standing trial along with 3 other Chinese nationals for offences related to illegal mining and the sale of minerals, sale and purchase of minerals without valid licensing. But the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, says he's not sure whether in 2018 Aisha Huang was deported from Ghana or she fled the country. Same person that told us that on hindsight, deportation of Aisha Huang was a mistake.
So on what authority was he speaking on in 2019? I mean, quite frankly, it's been quite disappointing listening to the president speak on this matter yesterday. First, it was uncertainty about how she arrived into the country, and now it's uncertainty about whether or not she was even deported or fled. And for me, that is where the bigger question even lies. Because if we are saying now that there's a possibility of she even fleeing the country, then I think it's a far more serious.
That's how come I addressed him as the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
It's a far more serious problem, if you ask me, because then it means that to a large extent our territorial integrity as a country has been quite significantly compromised, and that means that we need to start taking some really drastic measures. I mean, it's happened in this government before, where a whole cabinet minister was allowed or forced to resign, or let me say pushed out of government for misleading the president at the time, and I'm referring to Mr. Boache Jakon, sometime early in the
as energy minister.
As energy minister. So if he was allowed to go as minister, why are we not seeing her roll for? I
mean, as president, if you are uncertain whether she was deported or she fled, whoever briefed you at the time, why is this person still at post?
So for me, it gives them indication that we've probably not taken this fight against illegal mining quite seriously from the top. And for me, how we don't even see Galamsey as an existential threat in 2022, for me, is even beyond me. Like we've been saying, we've seen lead researchers and experts say that in the coming years, we'll have serious water problem, water crisis, if we don't take measures to improve the current state of our water bodies as a result of the negative effects of illegal mining. So it's sad that it's gotten to this point. And for me, like I'm saying, the next clear step is that we see some decisive action coming from the presidency. Some heads should roll with regards to how she got into the country and the seeming uncertainty about her deportation. I mean, heads should clearly roll in that regard.
I mean, on Monday, during the opening of the bar conference, he made a fine statement, throwing his weight behind the decision by the AG to fully prosecute Aisha Huang.
We heard that.
And then we wake up and he's not sure whether she was deported or not.